And we ended up going out to build out a factory, a chocolate factory, like Willy Wonka, modern day Willy Wonka, here in Montreal, that's fully automated. So you have 125 feet of machinery, custom made from every different type of cross-pollination of industries, not just from the food space, but taking from this space, that space, and building out this line, which can now do 90,000 bars per day. And when we were in the condo, we were only able to do 100. So you got to imagine, we've come 2.5 years from that 100 mark to that 90,000 capacity mark per day.
I trust that life will take me to a better place based on the action I've taken today. Trust the process. What's going on, guys? It's Tom here. Today we have a guest named Jake Carls. He's from the great province in Canada here called Quebec, where they speak French. It's kind of weird, but they speak French over there. And he's from a city called Montreal. Beautiful city. Love it. When it was pre-pandemic, we used to go there at least once a year, party it up, have a great time. But he's from a company called, he's a rainmaker actually, from a company called Midday Squares. I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard of them. If not, I would highly recommend for you guys to go check them out online right after this. I'll drop all the things in the show notes. Honestly, guys, you know how it is. Like, I tell things how it is. I never BS around it. This is probably the best midday snack that I've had in a very, very long time, especially when you put it in the refrigerator and take it out. So crunchy, so tasty, nutritious, all of it. So I reached out to the company. I said, hey, love what you guys do. Love what you guys do on social media. Very, very edgy stuff. I shot my shot. I was like, hey, you guys want to come on for a podcast interview? Jake replied, said, let's do it. So here we are. Welcome to the show, Jake. How you doing today?
Well, first of all, how can I beat that intro? Come on, you complimented Montreal. You complimented, je parle français aussi. I speak French as well. And you complimented exactly what we're doing. And what's funny is we've never spoken about this. So the fact that you already brought up the midday snack and out of the refrigerator, that really fires me up. So I'm pumped to be on this podcast. I'm super fired up. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. Like I said, nothing's really off the table. So let's get dirty,
Let's do it. How much money do you guys have in the bank account right now? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. we have a good amount of months left. We have a good amount of months, but that's a good question.
So tell us a little bit about this company, Jake. I mean, I'm not gonna call it a chocolate company because it's not. It's not a protein bar company because it's not. It's like the two had a baby and birthed this beautiful this beautiful baby out. Mixed blood baby. So like, how would you describe the actual product itself?
So the product itself the whole idea was we wanted to solve the afternoon snacking dilemma. And I think this is super important. Basically, the 2 p.m.er, when you start craving chocolate, we felt that no one in the space, some of our peers were doing, protein bars that were for pre-post workout, or people were doing breakfast bars, but no one in the space was really, focusing on targeting the afternoon craving. And what would typically happen is at 2 p.m. people get this craving for sugar or chocolate and they would eat a snack. But the problem with those snacks is you'd be hungry 30 minutes later, or you would just satisfy your chocolate craving and then have another craving an hour later. So for us, what we wanted to do was create a snack that gave you the indulgence of chocolate, real chocolate, but carried you over from that 2 p.m.er to that 6 p.m.er. So it kept you full for 3 to 4 hours and was made functional. So we called it functional chocolate because it's real chocolate, but it has the functions like a protein bar, but it's made for your afternoon.
Interesting. So, whenever, personally speaking, whenever I take a look at this company, especially food company that are in grocery stores and stuff, I'm like, man, like this must have been started by some like big company, with big factories, with a lot of funding, with a lot of money. It's just how it is, because I don't blame people for that, because like 10, 15, 20 years ago, if you want to launch a food company, like, you had to do that. You had to get a lot of money. Talk to us about like the early stories of like the early days. I went on your website, I went on your social media, and I looked at the early days. You guys were making food out of your kitchen, which is so humbling. But like how do you make a chocolate square?
It's a crazy story, actually. So I'm happy you brought it up. So we started by making it first of all, my partners are my family members. So my partners are my sister, that's my business partner, and my brother-in-law. They're married. That's a complete whack thing in itself. But Yeah. But we started, basically my sister was making this snack, this chocolate snack at the time for my brother-in-law because he had an addiction to chocolate and had an afternoon snacking problem. Actually, he would eat a lot of snacks in the afternoon, and he was in software previously. And when she was making it, she was making it for a hobby. She knew how to make, she knew how to play with different ingredients, but make it better for you, and not have to use palm kernel oil, not have to use added sugars, etc. So she made him the snack and he brought it to his office. His whole office fell in love with it. And 2 years later, he basically, when he sold out of his company, he had an idea, epiphany in his head. He always wanted to work with my sister on something. And he said, let's commercialize that chocolate snack you were making. Let's go into the food space. Let's go build a chocolate empire. And she was just like, are you crazy? At the end, she's like, are you out of your mind? Like that, go to the grocery store. There's 35,000 SKUs in the supermarket, which is completely whack. And most of it's owned by the conglomerates, the General Mills of the world, the Kellogg's of the world, the Hershey's, the Mars, the whole 9 yards. And she just said, you know what? We've always wanted to work together. This is a passion project. They reached out to McGill University, and they helped commercialize the product. So what they did was they did a lot of the lab testing. They didn't do anything on the building the product, but they helped us figure out the exact, shelf stable aspect. Now, at first, we were making this in the condo. We were making this in Leslie and Nick's condo, which are my sister and brother-in-law. And we had no other space to do it. So we moved everything out of the condo in the main space. They had 2 bedrooms. We turned 1 bedroom into the shipping bedroom and 1 bedroom into the office. And then the rest, the kitchen and the whole living room area turned into a factory. So we put tables out. We had all these little machinery and preparing foods, this, that. And we just wanted to get people trying the bar. The goal was, if we could prove product could fit and people actually want to pay and like this product, then we could potentially move into a small kitchen. Now, the problem with small kitchens in food is you don't typically go from condo to factory. What you do is you try to do different things. You maybe go to a co-packer, which is a co-manufacturer. And on the co-manufacturing route, we tried 26 different ones. So we went to 26 different co-manufacturers that produce food products, bars especially. So the ones that do all the big names. And they told us, which is really important, they said, either you change the product because we can't figure this out on a mass scale, or you buy custom machinery and put it in our facility. So Leslie, my sister, said, that doesn't make sense. We're not going to change who we are, what we believe in, and what we've made. We truly believe in this product, and we're going to stay true to ourselves. And I think the authenticity of that is what our band's built on. And we ended up going out to build out a factory, a chocolate factory, like Willy Wonka, modern day Willy Wonka, here in Montreal, that's fully automated. So you have 125 feet of machinery, custom made from every different type of cross-pollination of industries, not just from the food space, but taking from this space, that space, and building out this line, which can now do 90,000 bars per day. And when we were in the condo, we were only able to do 100. So you got to imagine, we've come 2.5 years from that 100 mark to that 90,000 capacity mark per day.
Wow, that's incredible. So what was the actual issue why did they turn you away? Was it an ingredient that they like what was the actual mechanics of it?
Yeah, 2 things. So first, they wanted to use stuff that basically goes through their machinery easier. So cocoa butter, we use cocoa butter because it's real chocolate, and cocoa butter is very hard with machines, the way that they use it. That's one reason. Number 2, their current machinery is based for enrobing chocolate. So those typical bars that are rectangular have chocolate around it. That's what they're able to do. They were not unable to make our dough and the chocolate top layer. We're unable to do both of them. So we have to, like I said, purchase our machinery, $10 that they wanted for the machinery. We said, why don't we go build our own? And it cost us $3.2 million to go build out our own factory here in Montreal, which we own, we control, we see. And for me, between you and I don't understand why a lot of food companies outsource their core competencies. So your core competency is manufacturing. Forget about brand, forget about all that jazz. Scaling and controlling your supply chain and manufacturing abilities should be your core competency. It's like, for me, 80% of the food companies take the other route and outsource it and just focus on marketing and sales, but that doesn't make sense, in my opinion. So we figured out that other route. It's a lot more CapEx at the beginning, but over time, your gross margins fly high. You also can come up with innovations. You could play around. You could do a lot of different things that, some other companies are unable to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. I think with food company, a lot of service companies, food is one of the service companies, but like you will never see a really, really, really good restaurant empty. You can have a restaurant in the middle of Times Square or whatever in Vancouver on like a busy street, but then the food isn't so great and you see a lot of people coming in and out. It's like you never see a lot of repeat customers. But there are so many of these hidden gems. I'm sure you have them in Montreal as well. Maybe a family run restaurant where the food is just like passed on generations. It's so unique. It's so tasty, good price, and it's always packed. There's like lineup out of the door. And I think with food company with like, that's a really interesting, one of the questions I had going in was like, hey, why don't you just outsource that? But you're right. Every business has their core competency. Right now, like I'm spending a lot of time teaching other people how to sell on Amazon because I've had success with selling on Amazon. I can't outsource that. Like that's my core competency. Like I'm the face, and so be it, right? So, but no, that's a really, really interesting point. I kind of want to backtrack a little bit with regards to when you guys were making the bar in the kitchen, and you said our number one objective was to make the bars, give them out to people, to get sample, to get feedback from them, to see if people are actually willing to pay for the product. Can you talk to me about what that process was like? And for those that are listening, like that is precisely called product market fit, which is like an incredibly important part of any business. So I'd love to understand a little bit about how you guys found the first like 1,000 customers were product market fit.
Two things. So we did two things. So the first thing was we put a sample program online. This was the first sample program of its kind in the food space where we actually, instead of getting free samples online, what they had to do is put their credit card down and put 25 cents. All it was 25 cents, but it showed commitment to actually wanting to try it, not just being someone that tries and throws out or, that jazz. So we did that. It costed money, but we shipped in the bars and we shipped them with a Polaroid picture. So a picture of the three of them, and I had a message about them. And the idea, we want to human experience as much as possible and make it seem like we care, which we do. We show love into the product and into the brand. That was number one. So people were trying the samples. They were receiving this Polaroid picture and they were like, holy shit, this company's crazy cool. It's like very personalized. And then on top of that, day one mandate was we wanted to show everything. And I mean everything. So we filmed the good, the bad, the ugly, and we presented it to the world. We took the idea of entrepreneurship and we made it a reality show on our social channels. We said, if consumers can see everything, and I mean the good, like the bad, the ugly, like therapy sessions, crying, breakdowns, the successes of opening a retailer, they're going to want to connect and be part of the journey. They're going to want to be on the roller coaster with you. So those two things allowed for us to have an explosion on social media, which ended up having a domino effect of people wanting to try more, which ended up having the sample program go more. And then we started getting serious data feedback that after the first 10,000 bars sold, we knew we had a product market fit. Then we went to go look at scaling, on what scaling would look like in terms of manufacturing. And at that point, like I said to you, we had to make a jump. And it was, do we invest in machinery or do we continue to make everything by hand and everything by, in the slower process? And Leslie came to us and said, we either got to put the PO in for the machinery, which is like very expensive PO, or we're not doing it. And we just said, fuck it, go do it. And that was a big bold, because again, there's no middle ground. It's either you're doing it at your condo, your home, or your garage, whatever, or a small little kitchen, or you scale and automate and you figure that automation out. And there's nothing in between. So, because the cost would be way too high. And we had to go do that. And that was a very stressful time. But because of product market fit, alongside great branding, there was an explosion in the consumer's mind. And that helped us grow rapidly.
Right. So how did you get people to discover the sample program online in the first place?
Social media. So at first, like I said, we posted literally on literally the journey. So we imagine like us making the bars, us delivering the bars, meeting our customers, all that jazz. That started having this like shareable effect on social media where consumers started saying, oh, this company's doing something differently. Like, I don't know them, but like, they're pretty wild. They're crazy. They're showing a glass door of their business. So then they're like, oh, then they saw the sample program. They're like, oh, it's 25 cents. I'll try it. And then when they tried it, they would tell a friend. And that's how the domino effect. I always say, when you give a good experience, whether that's customer experience, good product, the whole 9 yards, someone's likely going to go to their dinner table and tell whoever is at the dinner table what they just went through. Because you said it correctly at the beginning, service, for some reason, is not in this world. I don't know why they don't humanize more. It's always copy paste or scripted stuff, or like people are scared to say this, they're worried to be judged. You're frustrated. When you experience something good or even great, you want to tell people, right? You want to show it off. So that's what we focused on in terms of getting people organically to push the brand and the product a lot further.
So I would have thought, going into this, I would have thought you guys created 1,000 bars, went up to 1,000 people on the street, give them to them, be like, oh, like, can you fill out this quick survey? But at the same time, that's kind of sketchy because, like, I'm just thinking someone comes up to me on the street and, gives me a chocolate bar, be like, hey, we just created this at our kitchen. Can you tell me how it is? I'll be like, hell no, like I'm gonna get poisoned or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So with the original packaging, like, did you guys, when you guys send out the 10,000 bars to the sample, what was the packaging like? Is it the same one that you guys have today on your website, or just like something pretty plain?
It's very similar. So everyone still receives a Polaroid picture. That's 100%. So you really get the visions behind the brand with that personalized handwritten message. I think we've sent like 400,000 of those or 300,000 of those, which is crazy to think about. And they used to go in a bubble mailer. So it was like this like cool silver shiny package. It's very expensive, but it was cool because it was different, right? Now, obviously we ship in boxes, but that's just because of the insulation. We want to make sure that the product's insulated because it's refrigerated. But yeah, it was a cool experience. And we actually hand delivered, which is really important. The first, I'd say like 1,000 customers in Montreal, we would hand deliver from 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. every night and go meet the customers, learn who they are. Who is it that's purchasing it? Who's getting these samples? What is it that attracted them to it? Like getting that real input that we could get, and then also allowing them to feel the human. It's like you're meeting the founder of who created this, but you're also seeing the dedication and the love that's put in, which is what we truly need in this world, is more love and more love into corporations where they could put love into the products and not just do cost cutting efficiencies, So I think that was something special that we did.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, no, it's very personable. If some guy showed up, downstairs with something I ordered online, it's like, hey, I'm the founder of the company. It just makes it real. It's like, wow, there's actually a human on the other side. Whereas nowadays with corporations and, what the media says about corporations, like, oh, they're all greedy pigs, or they're all this, they're all that. That's, it can be farther away from the truth. And I think nowadays, like, not to get into like anything political, but a lot of people have that vision of like corporations. It's like, oh, it's anyways, X, Y, and Z.
I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And that's why we're authentically ourselves. And our whole thing is, our motto is two things. If it's not fuck yeah, then it's no. That's how we live by. And then go out there and be unapologetically yourself. Because if you're someone else, it's going to fail, man. It's going to fail. You're going to fail in the long run. It's not going to work because inside it will burn you inside. So for me, it's like, we're not scared of judgment. We're not scared of any of that stuff. We are who we are, and we're proud of it. And I always like to say, like, Cardi B, for example, she is someone that uses a bunch of foul language. Who cares? Like profanity. And for me, it doesn't bother me. But half the world loves her, half the world hates her. She gets a deal with Walmart or one of those big retailers. I don't know which one it is. And she says the words like, crazy shit words. So it's like at the end of the day, there's a certain group that cares. And then everyone else just sees the human side. And if you have tribalism and you have a community, that's your army, that's your people. Make sure that you're working with those people. You don't need to please everyone. It's impossible. It's impossible to please everyone. And corporate needs to realize, stop worrying about the judgments. Just go be you. Stop worrying about the perfection. Nothing's perfect. Yeah. Everything, there's ugly, there's good, there's bad, there's the whole 9 yards, but stop hiding it. Just show.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think like I had a mentor one time kind of give me a really good analogy of like almost like a lighthouse, a lighthouse in the middle of the ocean. Like a lighthouse will shine all the lights in all directions, but the lighthouse will never jump in the ocean to save a boat. Like if you want to come and be saved, or if you want to come towards the lighthouse, you can come. So the analogy is very much like, hey, I'm going to shine my light, my spirit, my messaging across the world. And for those that don't want to come to me, that's fine. You like keep going. But there are going to be people that are going to be attracted to what you say, and they'll come to the lighthouse. So
I love that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to tell people to pull me it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, use it. So when you guys were raising money, you said the machineries would have cost and the factories would have cost 3 point something million. Love to understand a little bit about that process. did you guys put together like investor deck and then went knocking on doors, emailing introductions? Did you guys hire a private equity firm or a investment bank? Like, how was that process like?
Yeah, so we seeded the money at the beginning. We funded it, the three of us at first, to get it going, just to show that we could prove that we could sell $250,000 in revenue for our first year. That was our goal, and that we could start to scale this process. And for us, we blew past that 250 mark in 2.5 months, first 2.5 months, and we were like, holy shit, like we actually have something. Let's run with it. So then when we went to go raise money, we were connected to a group called Boulder Food Group. Unbelievable people, great fund out in Boulder, Colorado. They're food specific VCs. And they believed in us. They believed in what we were doing. They're like, you're doing something different. You're communicating different with your customers. You're really storytelling, but you also have a great product. So we raised about $2.5 million. They led the round. We also got a guy named David Cinnamon, who's a Canadian entrepreneur cowboy. Love that guy to death. He's on our board. He was a manufacturing legend. He knew how to manufacture and scale manufacturing, and he built a business in private label bleach. And for us, we got people to believe us through what we were trying to accomplish. I think it's important is the story was we were trying to build the modern day Hershey, the next day Hershey. We were doing this by storytelling, by investing in media, not investing necessarily in just sales, investing in media and investing in R&D. Those two things were big. And then we raised the second round, a Series B in January 2020. And we with same investors, but we brought on a new one called Selva Ventures. We raised 4 million USD, and that was to go put the foundation out in the US and start building, get ready to launch in the US and make sure all the distribution centers are put, make sure we have the right team in place. And for us, raising money wasn't so much about the numbers; it was more about the storytelling and building a narrative that is something to get behind. If you don't do that, forget about it. And rejection will come. People won't see it. A lot of people misunderstood us at the beginning. They misunderstood that we were building a brand and we were looking to build more of a Nike rather than a General Mills. And us, that costs money to invest in a brand community and an army. You need to invest in building something special, and not just product, but actual feelings that you can make people feel something. So we've invested a lot in our media team to tell the story of Midday Squares and how it's building and get people to feel and know us as humans rather than just product. And that's been a big reason of our success in terms of getting our awareness out there and investment firms coming to us rather than us knocking on the doors.
Yeah, I would love to invest in your company if you guys ever do.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we're probably gonna do around mid-22, a big one.
I can help you guys on Amazon. That's where my my bread and butter is. So I got something to value to offer.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Kind of going back about the media side, I think that's very, very interesting. Like, storytelling is really like, if we were to go back in the caveman days, that's really what how human communicated. Like, it was all through stories. And some people argue like religion in itself, it's like a story. Like, certain religions, someone had this idea and they started spreading the gospel and whatever, and it took over the world. So human beings, we communicate, we can spread messages, we can get behind stories, and that's just how we were in caveman days. So, and I think some companies that do this really well, like for example GoPro, you see a lot of cool media on YouTube, long form media, 30 minutes, an hour documentaries filmed on GoPro, but never talks about GoPro, the actual product. It's all about the athletes going to the backcountry, skiing, snowboarding. Red Bull, obviously, amazing media company as well. What inspired you guys to, you're the rainmaker, you're the CMO. So like, talk to me about love to like go into your brain for a second about this like media thing. Like, why did you guys decide I know the authenticity, like I get all that. What inspired you guys to do that? Like have a camera and do a reality TV show? Like
you know what it was? We said if we could celebritize ourselves, then the brand will be celebritized. Instead of, doing an endorsement deal with, an athlete or a celebrity in that sense, why can't we be our own endorsements and build that and build the rocket, build it kind of like a boy band selling records and not a chocolate manufacturer selling chocolate. That was the big realization. And it's like, how do we do that? And it was through storytelling and being the faces of the brand, being the ones out and about, sharing everything. And media is where the world's going. We have so many advertisements in our face. We have so much content being thrown in. If you could put good, relatable content, it will break through that wall of decision fatigue or dilution, whatever you want to call it. And we believe that if we could connect at the heart, this army will do anything in its power for us. So that's what we're doing is tribalism comes from connectivity and relatability and feeling. So the only way for us to get that was not just by consuming product, was by how do we do that? We show it. We got to show it. And media was the way to show it through platforms like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube down the line, TikTok. And they're all different. And for us, it was like, we know that entrepreneurship was at its peak in the late 2010s. Let's go further. Shark Tank and those kind of shows were taken off, and people wanted to see it. They want to see the behind the scenes. They want to feel it. They want to do all that stuff. And Shark Tank was very surface level. And then you have reality shows that are growing tremendously. And it's like, okay, well, why don't you just make a baby with the two and do that entrepreneurship and reality show? And we could do that through our own platforms. And that's why we built the media team to do that and to share that journey.
Word. Got it. Is that exhausting sometimes with the camera following you around and you're like, dude, I get that fucking thing out of my face. I don't want to be filmed today, but it's like,
dude,
part of the business now.
It's tough. At first it was like really weird. Now it's normal. Like any conversation, our videographers can come in. It doesn't faze me anymore, but sometimes when we have to film something, things take time. They take a lot of time, and it's not us acting. You know, acting's hard to do. It's real shit. It's like moments of explosions that happen. It's all on camera, and you don't worry about the camera. But then, you know, creating campaigns and all this other stuff that's great. It takes a lot of time, because when you start doing the other stuff, it's like media is a big part of our business, and we do things a lot of the time. Like we're making a music video. Like think about that. A chocolate company making a music video, like a real one, not like a small little one, you know, like a real production. And we were there the other day in the music production. I guess I don't know, it's called a production where they produce music. And we were there for hours, 6 hours doing it. And it was just tough. And we have to go next week again and again. And it's like, that's part of the journey. That's what drives people to this business. It's not, you know, if we don't do it, we'll have a different business. It's a completely different business, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. What's the best social media channel for you guys, if you can keep one?
Right now, Instagram, you know, stories, reels, and IG televisions. We use it because we have a loyal base. You know, we only have 42,000 followers, but you know, we get anywhere from 8 to 10,000 views on our stories organically. Wow. So a strong community that really watches it as entertainment and just to be part of it.
And I'm curious to know, like, on your website, there's obviously like direct to consumer. So right now I can purchase something on your website. I can also find your product inside stores. What is the, when you guys talk to me about like first year, you guys are a third year in business or fourth?
This is we'll be end of third in September.
First year, second year, third year. What were the,
we'll be starting we started August 2018. So I don't even know what the math of that is.
So like, we'll call it 3 years, 4 years. So I guess you guys have really, I mean, if you guys already raised that much money, you guys have done really, really well within that short period of time. In terms of revenue distribution, are you able to share with us like how much online, just a percentage? I don't need to know the amount unless you're willing to share that, but how much online and how much in store, and what would you like to get that to? Would it be more online? Would it be more in store, or less online, or like, how does that work?
Yeah. So we're doing about 40% right now D2C, 60% in retail. We'd like to be at a 65-35 or 70-30, because retail is still
70-30 between what? 70-30, 70 being in store?
Yeah, in store retail, and 30% D2C. So right now we're at a 40% D2C, which is great. Don't get me wrong. And if we could scale it, continue the cost per acquisition to be lower at that price, it's great. But retail, there's nothing that beats retail more. Like if you get an account like Target that puts an order in for 2,000 stores, that's serious dollars. That's not a joke. Obviously the payments later and stuff like that, but it really gives you distribution in areas where it's hard to capture, right? But we went from 20% to 40% over COVID in terms of D2C. It went from 20 to 40. And it's sustained its cost per acquisition, and we're growing and we're spending more, and it's going to grow more, you know, and it's been an interesting journey. Our performance team's good at what they do. So you know, my partner Nick came from the software space, and they were in the ad literally the ad buying space.
Mm.
So they knew that he knows that type of market very well, and we're going to continue to spend until you see that diminish come, but it's not there, and it keeps going more and more. So it's interesting.
With regards to like retail, I mean, I hear a lot of horror stories, right? Especially like Shark Tank. You hear on Shark Tank, someone goes on retail and they're like, Kevin O'Leary, it's like, oh man, you're just getting crushed. They don't pay you for this many days. You have cash flow problems, this and that. Can you share with us a little bit about your experience with retail so far? Is that there's a little bit of truth to that? Do they give you really, really bad terms and then try to pounce on a little guy, or how does that work?
So yes and no. Our partners have been great. Our retail partners have been really awesome. But I could see where the terms and all that stuff comes in, and there's some costs with your distributors that come in hidden, or like quotations hidden, which you really need to take into account when you start a food business, your distributor's cost, what they take from you, and you need to price that in before you go launch, because you need to know that they are going to take between 25 and 35%. You need to give it to them, because the distributor gets product to their retailers. They ship it. They're a glorified logistics company. And from a retail standpoint, yeah, get paid later, but it gives you distribution points, which is super important in areas where you wouldn't have it. And then number two, is being a refrigerated product is very difficult for us, because our product's a new category. Refrigerated snacking is new. It's not old. It's not like, oh, you have a dairy section, you have a produce section, you have all that jazz. We have to find a place of home in the store. So a lot of the time we find ourselves on the shelves, which are supposed to be a refrigerated product, lined up where the protein bars are and the chocolate bars are, but we're supposed to be in the fridge. Then they don't know where to put us, so they put us in the dairy and egg section where the milks are and the eggs, which doesn't make any sense. We end up losing customer opportunities, So we're working on that now, and that's been tough.
That's a good point, actually. Where is it? I don't remember if my girlfriend bought your stuff online or not, but where would you guys like to get placed?
Grab and go fridges. So the grab and go fridges were at the front, where the beverages, the cash, or the cut up fruit section, where the cut up fruit is in the store, because that's premium product, that's healthy, better for you, and people are willing to grab and go with that. We just need to be in more of an impulse convenience section rather than the staple section of your household where the eggs and milk are. We get lost really quickly and people can't find us. So we did a survey online with our customer base, and we asked them how many of them could find the product in store, and 60 to, I think it was 65 or something, said no, they don't know where the product is. They have trouble finding it. That's a big problem.
That's actually a very good point. I actually didn't think of that. Because yeah, you're right. It does need, why does it need to be keep refrigerated? What part of
we don't use any preservatives or additives. So we use a lot of superfood ingredients that the flavor profiles will start to decrease right away unless we put preservatives in the product. So it needs to be refrigerated. It could be out of the fridge for 5 days, no problem. Then you got about 100 days in the fridge.
Got it. Cool. And I want to be respectful of your time, and I've really been enjoying this interview so far. You just dropped absolutely golden nuggets, and definitely learned lots. And guys, like, do yourselves a favor right now. By the way, you're not in the US. Are you in US right now?
We're starting in the US. Yeah, we're June 1st will be in a lot of stores across the US.
But someone can order your stuff online.
Yeah, we do 30% of our online business in the US right now.
Guys, middaysquares.com. Like, seriously, go try this thing out. I'm a pretty picky okay, let me take that back. I'm not picky. I'll eat anything, but I'm selective what I like to eat and what I don't like to eat. But this stuff, man, it's crack. It's pretty good.
I love that. I love that.
Pretty good. My last question to you is, I don't believe in like making mistakes in entrepreneurship, because without those mistakes, you wouldn't be where you are today. Every single mistake is a lesson, is a blessing, and you take it in and you move on. But looking back at your journey thus far, and relatively still a very young company, what were maybe one or two things, if you can just switch back the time, you're like, man, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done this instead.
So yeah, I would say I learned this mistake, and I'm grateful to have gone through it. Basically, I thought the concept of being a co-founder, you have to be a manager. So the first 6 to 8 months of the business, I was trying to be a manager, and I'm not a good manager. And I didn't know that at the time. I didn't want to tell myself that. My ego got in the way. And I basically tried to manage the first team members that came on, and it was disastrous. And it was uncomfortable for my partners to tell me, things just like aren't working out. So I finally, with my business therapist, I finally realized that My weakness is, sorry, my strength is not management. My
Hmm.
strength is being with people, is going out there, being about showing the building hype, building energy, building community. I'm not doing that by managing and trying to be a manager because I'm a founder in quotations. And I dropped it and I said, screw it. I don't want to be a manager anymore. I want to be managed. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay to report to someone. I'm okay to do all that jazz. I just, I just need to start playing to my strengths. And that was the biggest lesson I learned is go out there, play to your strengths, identify them, go play to them, and stop trying to fix your weaknesses.
Mm.
It's you could hire for that. You could get team members to do that. You could, you're not going to be perfect, but I thought you had to be, right? I thought society told you, if you're a co-founder and you own a company, you have to be a manager, and it's just false, straight up
Right.
false.
Right. Love that. I love that. Cool, man. Well, any last words that you want to say to people? I think a lot of people here started their business. Some have successful businesses. Some haven't started their businesses. Any words for these folks?
Yeah, be unapologetic, be yourself every day.
Awesome. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Always drop a comment, a like, smash that like button, bang it, whatever you got to do to it. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks again, Jake, for coming on the show. Appreciate your time, man.
Thank you. Had a great time.